Yeah, family, you all already know what time it is. Back with another episode of Camionero Cartel. For those of us that don't speak Spanish, Camionero means truck driver. Cartel is a band, a group, or a team of people that work together in order to gain financial strength, influence, and power on a national and international basis. Now, today's topic is going to be, does it get lonely out here over the road, being far away from your family, from your friends, and from everything else that you may be accustomed to outside of work? And the honest truth is, yes, it does get lonely. Sometimes when you're going down the highway counting those white lines passing by your face, and you count tens of thousands every day while you're going down the highway, it does get quite exhausting being away from everybody, okay? But when you do go home and you realize that things aren't really changing and developing and moving as fast as things are moving out here on the highway, you realize that, hey, I'm at the right place and I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Because the last thing a go-getter in life wants to do is to be sitting still, or to be going around and round and round in the gerbil wheel and not changing the environment that he's in, financially, right, physically, spiritually, and intellectually, okay? So that's why being out here over the road, our telephones are so important to us. Whether or not we're reaching out to our family and our loved ones and our friends back home, right, or reaching out to our women, right, or in cases of the ladies out here over the road, reaching out to their men, okay, who are back home or in other countries, or so forth and so on. Those phone calls are priceless, because what it allows us to do is to escape from being locked inside of the truck, right? Because being inside the truck, which is about the size of a small bathroom, okay, is being like locked up inside of a cage, all right? Now, while we're in this cage, it does produce money for us, right? And it allows us to receive a lot more money than most people who are working 9 to 5s, or working 12 to 12s, or 8 to 7s back in a normal society, all right? Because pretty much we live a very isolated lifestyle, and the only time that we get to get out of the truck, all right, is if we're going to the gas station, okay, to fuel up, right, to get diesel, all right, at a Love's, a Pilot, a TA, or Petro, or at a Flying J. Outside of that, we would have to be at a shipper or a receiving facility picking up our load, all right? That's the only time we're really going to get to interact with somebody outside the truck. Outside of that, it's just us and our people back home, all right? So it's definitely something that one has to get used to and get adjusted to, being alone. And that's why you see a lot of truck drivers get dogs out here over the road to keep them company. But in my case, I love to travel, and if I'm not traveling the nation, I'm traveling the world. All right, so even though I love animals, I would love to have a dog with me, it would just become a hindrance to me every time I want to drop, stop, and roll and hit the airplane if I have a German Shepherd or a Poodle or a Shih Tzu with me, that now I have to register papers and try to find out how can I transport this animal internationally, all right? So, as I always tell to my family, make sure you get your CDL, make sure you get your passport, and make sure you get your plane ticket. Your CDL is so you can travel the nation while making piles and piles of money. Get your plane ticket so you can sit first class with me, or get you a nice comfortable coach seat, which sometimes I ride on Spirit Airlines. Get you a nice window seat looking over the waters as we cross over to Colombia, Dominican Republic, Africa, India, Southeastern Asia, or anywhere else in the world that you may want to visit, all right? And then I want you to get your flatbed truck, because it's the most steady and the most physically active sector of trucking that you can be in. If you just want to hold a steering wheel all day, you don't like to really take care of your body too much physically when it comes down to working, then you can be in a drive-in or a reefer. But if you want to get paid to stay in shape physically fit and travel the nation, right, with your CDL, then get you a flatbed truck. It's not difficult to learn how to throw straps across your load. It's not difficult to throw chains across your load, all right? That's why I always emphasize you exercise and you train your body harder than you need to when you are actually at work. My exercise sessions are harder than my actual job that I have to perform when I get out at these shipping facilities and delivery facilities. So it's no problem for me to throw up an 80 pound tarp or a 90 pound tarp. Why? Because I do deadlifts with heavier weights than that. I squat much more than that. I curl much more than that. When I pull my body up on this pull-up bar above me, I train harder than that. So work is not work. What's hardest for me is sitting down in the driver's seat for 11 hours. That's the hard part, because I'm a very active man, all right? And I like to be active, and being still, that's very difficult, okay? Very difficult. But at the same time, you know you can't stop every 2 hours or every 3 hours, all right, to take breaks, because you're gonna delay your trip. So instead of arriving at 9 o'clock in the morning, you want to jump out 3 or 4 times. Now you're gonna arrive at 11 o'clock in the morning. So, you know, that's my advice to you. Make sure you maintain those important relationships with you, especially if they're positive back home on that cell phone, okay? Or on your laptop, right? If you have a pen pal or something back home or in a foreign country, feel free to do that, all right? I would also recommend some of the online dating sites that are internationally based, because when you get to know people that are overseas, all right, it gives you time to, it gives you a distraction, right? You can get to know that person. You got lots of time on your hand out here over the road to speak to them and get to know them. And you never know, on one of those trips overseas that you will be taking with your passport that you got from your local post office for only $150, all right, you can actually be flying over to get to know that person, all right? And hopefully she's physically fit, feminine, and fertile, all right? Just like Kevin Samuels said, rest in peace to the Godfather, all right? Because that's what we all after nowadays. We're not looking for masculine women. We're looking for fit, feminine, and fertile women, right? So we can take care of them and do our jobs and perform our position as men in society. All right, family, that's my advice to you about trucking and whether or not it's lonely out here. And the answer to that question is, yes, it is, all right? But we find ways to distract ourselves, okay, with that telephone, with the internet, and with those conversations, all right, that we have out here, right? All right, because counting lines all day gets very boring. As always, family, it's another episode with Camionero Cartel. Stay tuned and make sure to take care of yourself physically, make sure to take care of yourself financially, and make sure to take care of yourself spiritually. Stay in positive environments, eat positive food, and keep positive people around you, and you'll find yourself at the top, all right? Negativity leads you only to 2 places, baby. Graveyard or to prison. And that's not wanting to see you. I want to see you on the plane sitting next to me on the way to a foreign destination. Camionero Cartel, always peace, love, respect, and prosperity for everyone. Love.